Hey there, and welcome into another exciting episode of A for Effort, coming to you with another quality movie review. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we start off giving thanks to our unofficial sponsor of the podcast, MoviePass. $9.95 a month gets you one movie a day at local cinemas in your area. Check MoviePass.com for theater listings and offer availability. On this episode, we're going to break down one that flew under the radar for me until I recently seen a trailer and saw the outstanding cast that this one had involved, and that's the Hotel Artemis. It's written and directed by Drew Pearce, and this is his directorial debut. He was Shane Black's writing partner on such movies as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3, and steps into the directorial chair for the first time. I will admit, this movie's not without its hiccups, but I did enjoy this movie overall. It has a stellar cast. I mean, outstanding. This cast of characters really did deliver on their performances. The cast is led by Jodie Foster, who runs the Hotel Artemis, her orderly, Dave Bautista, and the occupants, Sterling K. Brown, Charlie Day, Sophia Boutella, Jeff Goldblum, Zachary Quinto, Brian Tyree Henry, and Jenny Slate. This cast was outstanding, and it was a delight to see these actors together just delivering great performances overall. But the movie had some hiccups where it came down to plot. The movie takes place in Los Angeles 2028, where in this futuristic world, water has become privatized and is not available to the public at large. And rioting is going on as the movie takes place. And our lead, Sterling K. Brown, is doing a heist, and his brother, played by Brian Tyree Henry, gets shot. And he tells him, "Don't worry, I'll save you. We're going to go somewhere where we can get saved." And that's where we end up in the Hotel Artemis, which is a hospital for criminals. A private hospital for criminals. Jodie Foster's character runs the hospital and goes by Nurse. And Dave Bautista, like I said, is her orderly and goes by Everest. And each occupant that is there goes by whatever their hotel room name is. So for instance, Charlie Day goes by Acapulco. Sophia Boutella goes by Nice. And when Sterling K. Brown and Brian Tyree Henry get there, they're Waikiki and Honolulu. Like I said, the movie's not without its plot holes. The movie starts with the heist, and they accidentally steal a pen, which is a miniature safe full of diamonds, from Jeff Goldblum's character, the Wolf King, and while he's in the hospital, Niagara. So you think, okay, they steal this stuff from the Wolf King, and the Wolf King's coming to retrieve his goods. But it turns out that Sophia Boutella's character actually injured Jeff Goldblum and got herself shot on purpose so that he could be brought to the hotel. This hotel has a bunch of rules that it goes by. You have to be a member, you can't kill other patients, you can't kill the staff, and all these rules get broken in this one night. And it leads to some great action, some great set pieces, and some great acting by this cast. But it's not without its plot holes. There's little things like, what did the water thing have to do with anything? Or how come nobody knew the diamonds were stolen? Because throughout the movie, Sterling K. Brown's worried that they're coming to get them but it turns out they're not coming for them. They're coming to bring in Jeff Goldblum because he's injured. But they don't know that, and they're trying to find a way out. And then a cop character played by Jenny Slate gets injured, and they don't allow in anybody but criminals, but Jodie Foster makes this exception and lets her in. And it just kind of gives backstory to Jodie Foster because she knows the young girl who knew her son, who turns out was killed by Jeff Goldblum. It was a lot to take in, a lot of dialogue. Like I said, there's some great set pieces. It looks great. The cinematography is great. The acting was phenomenal, but it just took a lot to really, you didn't have a second to kind of catch your breath with the dialogue because there was just so much going on. There was a love angle that was kind of felt a little forced. I think it felt a little forced because Sophia Boutella couldn't really pull off the acting chops that it needed to deliver this particular scene with Sterling K. Brown, and she quickly has a moment towards the end where she kind of saves him, and that really wasn't her character type throughout the movie. It's not that I didn't like this movie, it just didn't give me everything I thought I was getting, because the trailers made it seem like it was going to be this epic action movie, and it's not without its action. It has some great action towards the end, but it's a lot of talking for about an hour, and I like the concept. It's very in the vein of a Dread or The Raid, where you're in one spot and you've got to get out. And I liked that. I liked that aspect of it, but it just didn't get there for me quick enough, and that's what I really needed from this movie, was to just speed up a bit. The pacing to me was a bit off for what I was expecting the movie to be. It's not that it was bad, and it's not that this wasn't a great directorial debut for Drew Pearce, but it just needed a little bit more for me. The movie didn't do too well release-wise, only $3 million, but it was released up against Hereditary, which I hear is a wonderful horror film that's getting rated rave reviews, and Ocean's 8, which was a great movie. Check the previous episode for that review. I just wish that this movie had a bit more to it, depth-wise, to really pull all these stories together, because there's a lot of great characters in the movie, but there's no reason for some of them to be there. Charlie Day's character is one example. He's just there to be kind of comedic and also an asshole. He's really not there for any good reason. The only purpose for him to be there really is because he has a card that 3D prints a gun. He ends up dying towards the end of the movie in a really horrific way. It was kind of cool, but he had no real purpose in the movie other than to be a relief character. Sofia Boutella's character had a purpose, and Sterling K. Brown's character had a purpose, and Dave Bautista and Jodie Foster were absolutely wonderful in all their scenes together, and Jeff Goldblum ended up having a small but important role, same with Zachary Quinto, but it just overall lacked for me in the long run. For that, it just gets an A for effort. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's a middle of the road. It's just a movie. You know, you can wait for this one to come out on the Redbox. I urge you to see it at some point, but don't rush out to see it. It's not one of those ones where you need to run out, see it ASAP. Save up on that one. I mean, if you have a Movie Pass, if you have the great Movie Pass, then maybe. But other than that, it's not one of those ones you need to run out and see. Just an A for effort. It just didn't hit on the notes I expected it to. It flew under the radar. Like I said, I saw a trailer for this about 2 months ago, and I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. I can't wait for it to come out, and I'm excited to see this. And going into the theater today, it was in a huge theater, and it only had 6 people in it, and I'm like, well, middle of the day, that's probably why, but it was in the biggest theater in the entire cinema, and I'm like, you probably should have Oceans in this theater, I would think, but then again, who am I, So again, just an A for effort. I did enjoy it, but it just had too many plots, lots of dialogue, and I just wish some more of the outside stuff got tied into the movie a little bit more. Like maybe, for instance, like have Jeff Goldblum's character be the one that's controlling the water, and the riots are trying to get to Jeff Goldblum, so that's why there's so much emphasis on the riots outside, that they're trying to get to him wherever he is, and there's just no reason for it other than people are rioting because they can't get water. And like I said, I just wish there was more to it than that. That's just the way it ends, and like I said, because the ending is kind of blah. There's no point to me in the end. Sterling K. Brown's character wants out of the criminal life, and he finally is rid of his brother who's kind of been holding him in the criminal life, and he can finally do what he wants. And Jodie Foster's been scared to go outside because of the rioting. I think there's no real reason why she's so terrified to go outside. I thought the acting was great. I thought the characters were wonderful. It fell short to me in the end. I wish it was a little bit more than what I got. And with that, we're going to end it on that note. Check out all the other episodes on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know if you like this a little bit more than me. Give me your opinion on Hotel Artemis, and I'd love to hear it. So comment on the video below. Come back to us next time on another episode of A for Effort. I've been your host, Matt, and this was another quality movie review.